Hey everyone, we're back, and after taking some time away, we've taken quite a bit of time away. We're back, and we're excited to put out a new episode for you all here on Sippin on Rosé with Mayra and Denise. Alright, so for this week's episode, we wanted to talk about cancel culture.
Yes.
It's been heavily, on the news, heavily all over our social media feeds, and kind of something we wanted to...
It's just a hot topic.
Yeah, a very hot topic.
I feel there's a lot of things going on, and a lot of things being canceled.
Yeah.
And I feel like it kind of just came out of nowhere. I feel like within, the last maybe 2 weeks, I've heard about, 3-4 things that have been canceled. I know it would happen before, but I feel it would be more, sporadically, But I think that now it's just one thing
after another. Yeah, it's like you can't catch your break. But I definitely would have to say, I don't know if it's because maybe the pandemic, but I've seen it, the moment we had to start the stay-at-home order, I've seen it so much. And I don't know if people are just bored and we're just going to cancel things left and right.
I mean, even you could be, they have more time at home, so they're, looking at more at shows, movies, analyzing things more, paying attention to more details. I don't know. I know one of the ones that happened not that long ago was with the Dr. Seuss books,
Yeah.
And these are books that have been in school libraries, elementary school libraries forever, and totally I could see the meaning behind it, but I just thought it was so random how it was just all of a sudden, they were taken away, and someone, pointed out certain things, and I just really wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, and you know what? I just sometimes wonder, who has this power of, this cancellation. Yeah. I'm not saying that, it's right, but I'm just saying, who has, this power to be okay, that's wrong, we're done with it, get it out of the bookshelves, kind of thing. I know it, there has to be a leader for a bunch of people to follow. So I'm just wondering, how does that happen? How does cancel culture, start? And then, obviously, it's a snowball effect, but, it's just... And not only that, it's just like we said, one thing after another that it's just what the baloney?
Yeah, then we had, I had started seeing, I think it was on Facebook about, once they started promoting, the new Space Jam movie, Space Jam 2, with, Looney Tunes, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, I love Space Jam, I'm so excited, and then all of a sudden, there was the article about, Pepe Le Pew, and then I'm like, wait, what did he do? I was so confused.
Wait, what did he do?
I because it was, about, he was promoting rape culture, and I'm like, wait, hold on, am I seeing a different, show?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not disagreeing with it. I totally get it, but I'll be honest. It was very unexpected.
Yeah.
I thought it was so interesting how it went from because again, this is Looney Tunes. Is it Looney Tunes? It is, right?
I think it is,
Looney Tunes. It's something. Those characters with Bugs Bunny and Tweety and all them that have been on for years, and now I remember, and this is something, and it's just a memory that popped out, that Pepe Le Pew was seen as this romantic, French skunk, wherever he was from, and he used to be in cards for Valentine's Day, and balloons,
That's so true,
and then And all of a sudden, like, you know, it's like, oh no, he's representing rape culture. And I'm like, hold on. Like, rewind.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that come from? Again, not disagreeing. I totally can see where, like, obviously how that leads up. But just like Mayra said, like, oh my gosh, like, where did this come from? Like,
yeah. And I think it definitely, like, affects us just because these are shows that we grew up with. And we're all very, like, the 90s kid. And, like, don't touch my childhood because we feel that, like, maybe kids nowadays don't have a childhood because they are way into computers and cell phones and stuff like that. So we had this childhood of the music and the TV shows and things like that. So it hurts a little bit to know that something you loved so much and watched on a Saturday morning is kind of being canceled now.
Yeah, oh my God.
It's so weird, this new generation.
Yeah, like you said, like, you know, for us that, like, we grew up with it, we were watching it, and we were never, like, we never thought of it like that, or our parents never, like, said it was bad to watch it, to now, like, people that didn't grow up with it, maybe, you know, never really watched it on TV, like, you know, it's just, like, they're, like, seeing it, but, I mean, again, I'm not going against it. I think I totally, literally, even before we started this episode, Mayra and I were watching a clip about that, because I'm like, let me watch it again, like, let me see what I missed, you know? So that, and then literally, I think it was like 2 days after that, I saw the article on how they wanted to cancel Speedy Gonzalez.
Oh yeah.
That's also part of, you know, like with the Looney Tunes, and you know, this, like, this mouse that he's Mexican, clearly, you know, and they were saying how it was, you know, like it was being racist, you know, like the Mexican stereotypes, and I'm like, wait, what? I really liked him.
I know. I loved Speedy Gonzalez because I remember doing a poem back in, like, grade school or whatever, and you had to describe yourself, and I'm like, Jesus, how am I going to describe myself, you know? But I was a runner. All I know is that I was a runner, and I was Hispanic, you know? So I'm like, oh my goodness, perfect. I get to relate to a character.
Yeah.
And let people know, hey, like, I'm like Speedy Gonzalez because, like, I love to run. I'm Hispanic. But then it's like, oh, now it's, like, not okay.
Yeah.
Speedy Gonzalez is canceled.
That kind of makes me sad.
It does. Because it was part of our childhood.
And I did see a lot of, like, posts where, like, Mexicans, Hispanic people, they were saying, like, hey, wait, hold on, like, I'm not offended by him.
Yeah.
Like, where is this coming from? Like, who, like you just said, like, who is saying this? Who is canceling this? Like, I'm Mexican, like, I'm Hispanic, like, I'm cool with it. I want him to stay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, if he was gonna be in, like, also the Space Jam movie, the new one. And that's why, you know, they kind of, like, pointed that out.
And you know what, that's something that I've, like, started learning about cancel culture is that, like, if I'm not part of the community that someone did something wrong in, I honestly can't have opinion in it, you know, because they're not hurting my community, you know. So when it comes to Speedy Gonzalez, I'm like, you know, I am more of a light-skinned Latina, but I'm also like, Jesus, like, this is okay though. We love Speedy Gonzalez. I know. Even my dad's like, no, but we love him.
That definitely. Oh, I mean, it's interesting, but at the same time, it is a little scary. It's just because I'm like, well, what next? Like, I don't. There's things like, you know, like where I said that, you know, we were growing up, they were watching that, like, you know, we didn't really think it was bad, but now it's like, yeah, it is bad. Like, kind of shame on you. So now I kind of feel crappy about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, like, I didn't mean to, like, watch something that was representing this. Like, you know, like, my parents allowed it. Like, they're cool with it, you know?
Don't blame my parents.
So that kind of it's been something that, you know, it's been in our mind. And now with all of these things that, with this topic, like cancel culture that's been trending, that's been going on, that we don't know like what's gonna be, coming on next. I know one of the things that like started now is people wanting to cancel culture. So we did read somewhere where it kind of stated how like canceling cancel culture and creating space for people to be able to make a mistake and learn from it will lead to a more accepting, growth-oriented society, accomplishing much more in the long term. So pretty much what I kind of took from it, and I know I've had this conversation with my sister as well, was like, okay, we know that like these characters, were, and if you do not agree with me, I'm sorry about that. But we know that these characters have been on for like years, and there was movies or like recordings, shows, episodes like going on for years. Now, instead of completely like eliminating that, how about let's stop? Let's think about it. Let's acknowledge, okay, maybe this was not appropriate. Learn from that mistake, and instead of continuing to just like pretend like it didn't exist, let's just from today moving forward, then we won't make another episode like that. We won't make another show including this character. Let's make a new character that is gonna be just promoting something that we accept in society, that's not offending, that's not wrong, that's not racist or anything like that. Right. One of the things that like Mayra was mentioning was, because obviously not only cancel culture involves like characters, but also like people, and she was making a comment about like, oh my gosh, like like what if like cancel culture leads to like someone like hurting themselves, committing suicide, and all these like all the people involved in like canceling culture because they want to do good, but then it's like really like affecting like a person, whether it be like, let's say someone like wrote a book they didn't mean to, like for this character to portray a certain way, and they feel bad, they feel hurt, and it's affecting their mental health. And I think not only like just like reading about it, that like, oh damn, like all the like I did something I wasn't supposed to, I wrote something when I didn't mean it that way, but also how like the social media is involved in all of this, where like people are really mean, and not only like are people mean now like physically, like in person, like saying mean things, but also now being able to spread that hate through social media. And like, can you just imagine like reading like all these like comments and posts about something you did when you maybe didn't mean to, like I said, like have this character be this way, and they're just saying all these horrible things about you. And I know like I've read posts about like when people are angry at something or someone, and they're like, oh, like you shouldn't have been born, like you should die. And it's like, oh my gosh, where is all this hate coming from? Like this can be so damaging to someone's mental health. Like if you're reading all these comments of people constantly saying how you're worthless, you shouldn't have lived, like what's wrong with you, you're stupid, like how could it not affect someone's mental health that they really start believing that they shouldn't live, that they are worthless, that they're stupid, or all those things. Just and I think that kind of goes on with the other aspect that Mayra and I were discussing about social media, good or bad. Mayra is a social media queen, so I don't know, girl, that's your thing.
Well, I mean, just going back with like cancel culture, I think that I do believe cancel culture should be canceled, just because I think it does more harm than good. I think we should start a culture that's like spread awareness culture. Like let me educate you on why that's wrong. and I'm not saying, I mean, it is 2021. We have common sense. You know what's right and wrong. I do think that certain other things in life do play on who you are and why you may say a thing or two, right? But let me educate you on why that's not okay to say. Why that's not okay that you're doing that, okay? Let's work together to make sure that we create an environment that is safer and able to walk through for our children. But I'm not going to cancel you and rip you from a whole ass career, or I'm not going to like tell you like, hey, like you're such this and that. Like if you have to put somebody down when they make a mistake, Jesus, like I just like I have said before, I'm so scared one day to hear in the news that someone, you know, takes their life because of cancel culture. And what do you want? Everybody makes mistakes. We're human beings, you know.
And you always hear like the phrase of like, you know, learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
Like, damn, like, no, like if you make them, then so you're supposed to learn from your mistake, but then you're like terrified to make a mistake because you're going to be torn apart, that you're not going to really want to learn. Like you're just going to want to like go crawl under a rock, you know, because of what everyone is going to, you know, be saying about you, thinking about you. Like, yeah, I mean, I like the culture you're trying to create. Like awareness.
Yeah,
like,
spread awareness culture.
Spread awareness culture. I'm so down for that. Like, I agree. I think that, like I said, just, you know, if something was wrong, okay, like talking about it, owning up to it, and saying, hey, listen, I can't change the past, but guess what? I can change the present and the future.
Yep.
And moving forward, I'm only going to make sure this character does this, you know, or like, I'm only going to like make sure that, I don't know, like the stories are only talking about this, you know?
Right.
For example, like, I mean, I don't know if like how much it applies to it, but I know that I've had conversations with people about how, like, of the Barbie, you know, and how, and like how, like, she looks, right? And now, like, she's the perfect body, you know, and just, it's like, you know, her, like, long, skinny legs and her little waist, and, like, she has, like, her boobs, nice perky boobs and stuff. And it's, like, you know, little girls, like, seeing this, like, you know, it's, like, damn, the Barbie's beautiful. Everyone loves the Barbie. This is how I need to look. Like, that can be very harming, but, okay, instead of canceling the Barbie, I have seen, because I recently went to the store, I have seen so many really cool Barbies at all types of, like, shapes and sizes and colors, and I think that's so cool. We didn't cancel the Barbie. Like, Barbie's, like, it's iconic.
And Barbie did a really good, because I know at the beginning it was all about the ethnicity. Yeah. Because it only had, like, a light skin, blonde hair Barbies. And it's like, where are, like, the black Barbies? Where are the Latina-looking Barbies? You know, the Asian-looking Barbies? You know, every ethnicity and race. And it's just, they've done a really good job to have a variety of different types of Barbies, and I think that's awesome. I know. You know? And we never canceled it.
We never canceled it.
Yeah,
we never canceled it. And it's like, you know, and it's so funny because so I hadn't gone to like the Barbie section, I guess, in like a very long time. I have a nephew, so it would always be in the boys section. But not that long ago, I went into the girls section. I have a niece now; she's getting older, and I just was looking at the toys, and I cannot wait to buy, you know, dolls and everything, for her. And I went to Barbie, and it was just so cool to see. There was like the Barbie in like, you know, the wheelchair, you know.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like, yes, like, you know, and there was, again, just all like different type of like Barbies, and with different even haircuts, you know. There was like the Barbies that had like the super short like pixie haircut, and they're all so cute. And then there was like the Barbies in different careers, you know. That it doesn't need to be this Barbie that's just like in Malibu Beach, shopping. You know, like shopping.
I mean, low-key that's me, but
but I just thought that was like really cool, and I'm so happy that that's how they handled that situation, that culture, instead of completely eliminating. So again, it just kind of makes me wonder and think like, why was that the exception? How come other stuff, like, I don't know. I'm assuming that, like, I don't know, I really don't know, like, if I, like, to be honest. Like, for example, with, like, the Dr. Seuss books, like, I haven't read too much into it. I know that I read somewhere that they were removed from, like, the schools and everything, but, I don't know, maybe just moving forward, if there would be any, like, books, like, written books, related to that or those characters, it would be different.
Yeah. And, I don't know too much about the Dr. Seuss thing, but with just cancel culture, I am just so surprised that it's even here when I felt like we were in a culture all about mental health.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell happened to mental health? Because, like, cancel culture can be very aggressive, and I like what you're doing is just as bad, like, you're not,
I think
you're hurting somebody.
I am assuming that it's the way that that community that's doing that views it. It's like, cancel culture because these characters are hurting this public's mental health, which it's true. I'm not going against that, but I think, like you said, just what you're doing is viewing the other side of it, of like, hey, like, but now, hey, we're promoting this, we're doing this, we're saying this was so bad, how could people do this, how could like, why would someone make this character or do this, and now all this, like, hate is going toward this one, like, person, whoever created this, and, like you're saying, now you're thinking about that person's mental health as well, that maybe some aren't thinking about.
I feel like you're trying to save mental health by hurting someone's mental health,
right?
But and again, it just gets so extreme because we have social media. We can find somebody on 5 different social media apps, and we could tell them, like, hey, go kill yourself 4 different times.
Yes.
Now imagine the whole, like, big ass society trying to tell somebody that. That's very aggressive, and that's very, like, I can't I get so, like, I can't breathe. I get so claustrophobic just thinking about how many people receive messages like that all the time.
All the time. And to a point where, like, I feel like, and it's so scary to even think about it, like, I feel like it could start off with, like, comments and then messages, and then, like, there are some people, speaking of mental health, that, like, are not, I don't know, like, maybe thinking the healthiest way, and then go to the point of, like, stalking, these people. And literally with social media, like, you can find out everything, like, oh, this person was spotted here or whatever. And then when the hate can get physical as well.
Oh yeah.
So it's just so scary.
It is really scary.
It's just scary.
And I mean, and like you said, I love social media. I love the fact that, we can connect with so many different people and we can communicate. And I think the biggest thing that I have loved about social media that I have talked about my mom with is the more resources I have to learning about how to be a good mother, how to be the mother I want to be. Mm-hmm. Because there's just so much social media accounts that I get to learn, hey, like, you talking like this to your daughter it might not be okay. Maybe try it this way, Mm-hmm. And me and my mom have talked about how, that wasn't around for her. So she just had to go based off of whatever was brought down to her. Mm-hmm. And we are in a Hispanic culture, and it involves, spanking and all these other things. And that was something I never wanted to do. I did not want to bring that culture to my children. And I love social media because I get to learn how to help my daughter be part of society and be loving to other people, and how to help educate her and all these awesome things. So I love social media so much in that aspect. Or I love seeing other people travel, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I know where to go when I go to those places.
Yeah,
or,
it definitely has its pros and cons.
I love it. And I know some people don't like social media because we don't post reality sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we just post like the good moments and we post like us having fun and things like that. But it's just like, I want to show you how good I'm, you know, I'm having fun, you know? Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I do think that it could just be like maybe just the state of mind of every individual, because I might see it as awesome and great, but I know someone who may be having a bad day could view it as like, look how my life is compared to somebody else, you know? I think the best thing to do with social media is don't compare yourself. Mm-hmm. You know, I think I sometimes are like Instagram. I don't know why people don't see Instagram like Pinterest. Yeah. You know? Like, I literally view Instagram like Pinterest. Mm-hmm. Though I can't like pin things and like save it under a category, I view it as like, oh my goodness, like I love her outfit. Like when I go into my closet, I may not have the specific thing she has, but like I know, oh, I could put it like this or something like that. You know, like it just inspiration, ideas, I just see it that way. But I know people have said like it could be very draining, or I know Instagram started taking out likes. Yeah. Because it's for mental health, people just get so caught up on getting so many likes and things like that. So I know social media, like we've said, has its good and has its bad, and I don't know if it's just more of like everybody's just different. We just view it differently.
Everyone's different. Everyone uses it for different things. Yeah. I think like you said, you know, when like if you use it for like networking, for resources, to connect, you know, with like other people, other places,
for your business,
all of that. Oh my gosh, like yes, like I think that is so great. I know that like I have talked to people that they tell me that like through social media, through Instagram, they have been able to get like deals for their businesses, you know, and I think that is amazing. They probably wouldn't have been able to get some of those deals if it wasn't for Instagram. But I think I also again see how it could be very damaging for someone's mental health. I think that I don't know, like, for example, like with like Instagram, I don't think that young people should have an account.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know, I think I think that I think that can be damaging, and it will be damaging starting at a very young age. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we know that there is a lot of like young people that, you know, teens or whatnot that are having an Instagram account and they just change their age, they lie, you know, which is where then parents, please keep an eye out.
Seriously.
But I just, or like I could see how then, like, I mean, we'll just call them bad people, use social media for them to access, you know, certain like vulnerable individuals. So I don't know, like I'm always so like torn in the middle. Because, you know, again, I see good and bad. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, due to the work that I do, I see a lot of bad in regards to social media. So it's tough. I think it's really tough. I don't think that there's like a right or wrong answer. Mm-hmm. I think that, you know, like every person's different, so everyone is different.
But it's really hard. That's so hard to, like, okay, just say like I was like an influencer on social media. It's so hard for me to think, oh, hey, I'm going to post this, but I have to take an account of the millions of people who follow me, who have different opinions and different struggles. Like that's really hard too. Like that's
why I didn't become an influencer, Mayra. Didn't you know?
I just think like I think we need to have mercy. And I think we need to have grace, not just towards ourselves, but to others. Like, I'm very much like, hey, if you're not hurting me, I'm not going to hurt you. And I think that if you want to live your life the way you want to live it, and it doesn't affect me, live it. You know? Yeah. Like, it has, I don't know, I just, be nice to everybody.
I know. But that's so true how you mentioned about, like, how you need to just, like, if you're an influencer or just anything, like, you need to just, or even, like, if you're, like, a business and you're gonna, like, promote something, like, you need to, like, I mean, like, watch, like, what you say, what you write, what you post. And honestly, even, like, us with, like, Sippin on Rosé, like, we have our social media account, and, like, we always, like, want to make sure that, like, what we post, like, it's not going to offend anybody, because we know that that's never our intent.
Right.
And honestly, I think it would hurt me so much if at any point, like, we posted something that we didn't really think it was, you know, anything bad. Yeah. But then it turns out that it's, like, offending something or someone. Yeah. And then all of a sudden everyone gains up on us and we're, like, portrayed as these, like, horrible, insensitive people. I'll be like, oh my God. Like, I think that I would be really, like, sad. Like, I'd feel really dumb, and it would suck. I think
what we need to do as a society is understand, I feel the majority of people do not intend to hurt you.
Yeah.
You know, I do believe that there is good, and I believe that people are not out there trying to hurt you, I guess I would say. I'm trying to find an example, but, like, whoever is on social media and they're, like, really big and they post something, I don't think their intention is, like, hey, today I'm going to wake up and hurt these people.
Yeah.
I just think they're very naive. And not educated, and we just need to educate them. Yeah. You know? And I think
now, if you educate them and they're still continue to, you know, do or post or say something they're not supposed to, all right, then we have an issue. Then we can cancel them. But if,
like, those Karens.
my God. Yeah.
Like, and that's another thing I think about cancel culture. It's like some of those people that we like to call, you know, quote, Karens, that they, you know, are at a gas station and they're like, oh, you look Hispanic, I'm gonna say something like, go back to your country or something. And it's just like, yo, girl, I was born here. Like, at the same hospital you were at. Like, calm down. But it's, like, some of those people don't stop.
I know.
They don't stop, and
so they should be canceled. But,
yeah, some people don't understand it. And I don't know what to do with those people. Like, that's just...
Yeah.
I wish we had, like, an island and we could just put those people on there. That'd be so hard. Like, who can judge that? I don't know. That's so hard. It's so hard. Vote. Everyone vote.
Oh my God. It is really hard, and it's scary too.
Yeah,
I think it makes me just, I don't know, it makes me wonder. I mean, dude, I don't even have kids, but, like, it makes me wonder of, like, you know, the future, you know, of, like, you know, your kid, you know, my future kids, and I don't know, man. All I just want is world peace. Like, I don't know. I just hope that, like, future generations, by then, like, everything's figured out. And, you know, that Mayra's culture, you know, is in existence. Awareness culture.
Spread the awareness culture. Educate one another. That's my logo. Educate one another.
Yeah. Hopefully, you know, that's going on by then. And we don't have this, like, constant fear of, like you said, like, just, you know, like, if we post something that we're just, there, you know, everyone's going to gain up on us. Like, if we make a mistake, instead of, like, they're like, hey, I don't think, you know, like, this is right because of X, Y, and Z, and then I'm like, oh, okay, sorry, you're right, take it down, and we're good. And I have people on some, like, you should die, like, you know, you're so stupid, like, I know, you know, like, why are you alive? You shouldn't have been born. Like, that's just, like, and I literally have, like, seen comments like that on, like, stuff. Like, I know that, just, like, if they're, like, I think where I have seen it is, like, on, like, if I follow, like, pages from, like, a certain show, and then, like, the characters on the show or something, like, they, like, did something wrong or were bad or something, that, like, literally people get so angry about it and say such mean things, and you know, and it's just like, oh my
And
gosh.
I understand that's really unhealthy. Like, I think it's really unhealthy that you can hide behind a computer and just tell somebody to go die. Like, that's unhealthy for you and obviously for that person, but like that's really unhealthy for you to start thinking like that and create hate for someone you don't know. I think we should just take it like if they were your best friend, you know, like I wouldn't come to you and be like, hey, I'm gonna cancel you for saying that, you know. I'm gonna be like, yo, like, hey girl, like, you know, don't say this, or, you know, say it like this next time, and bada bing bada boom, butter.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, that's like in a perfect world, I guess.
Again, but world peace.
Yeah, world peace.
But that's just kind of like our thoughts on that. Literally, like we were having a whole conversation about it. We hope that you don't want to cancel Sippin on Rosé after this episode. You know, our intentions are never to offend anyone, hurt anyone. Like Mayra had said since the beginning, we just wanted to create a space where we can voice our point of views and you know, just we're just two girls that want world peace.
Yeah, show love.
Yeah, show love, not hate.
Yeah, love, peace. Yeah, like you said, world peace. So
but we love to hear what you guys think about all of this. No matter what it is. Again, you know, you don't have to agree with us or obviously think the same way that we do. We just wanted to maybe, if anything, give a different perspective about something, you know, because I feel like a lot of times, like, we think things a certain way, but then when we hear something else, it does get us thinking like, I didn't think of it that way, you know, so who knows, maybe that, you know, will get you guys thinking. But thank you for joining us on another episode of Sippin on Rosé with Mayra and Denise.